Hey Brian, I just want to get your thoughts on you shuffled the lineup, your overall thought of what you thought about the performance of those players. You came in there, shuffled the lineup, and I get that you lost the game, but technically and the energy that they brought.
Thank God you didn't ask me a question about tactics.
Oh, Brian.
Thank God. Because the story of this game is not the tactics, Moz, although we got those right in many ways. You know, it depends on what you guys call tactics. You know, we shifted in a 3-4-3. You know, set pieces were good. I mean, we didn't get a hold of the ball as much as we wanted to, but that's due to Chivas pressing, and we scored the early goal. But what I told the team in there is that effort, starting with the captain, and then it run through Charlie, Ryan Saylor, you know, Gallatin, Mark, Edson, you know, the guys that aren't signed, and then Saylor and Stewie and Tino and Jesus and Osaze. I mean, that's what it means to wear the jersey. That's what that means. So the way those guys fought was the best thing about this evening. Yeah, we didn't win. I get it. But you got a kid, Charlie, who, you know, may or may not make it, but he busted his ass there because he knew this was his shot. And you got Marco O'Neill, who, talented guy, don't know if he's going to make it, but he knew he had an opportunity, and he gave everything. And Gallatin and Edson lasted 90 minutes. I didn't think the kid was going to last 90 minutes. I didn't think Tino, because he started in midfield and then he went out to left wing back. There's a lot of storylines that you guys can say. Steph, goalkeeper of the tournament. I don't know if there's a prize for that or a trophy or, you know, anything like that. But there's the example of a good pro. Comes to work every day. Shows everybody that he's extremely good at what he does. And that's the example that you want. Because that's going to take this franchise further than any sort of TAM signing or anything like that. That effort from that group of guys is going to get us a long way. And it's going to continue to be the basis of what this franchise stands for, wearing the jersey.
Coach, you mentioned that the effort, the grit, the fight. How much do you think it's more helpful the first team is able to see that from the side? And is that
I made an example for the first team. Trust me on that. Because I'm looking at guys that think they're the first team. Looked them dead in the eye when I was talking.
Coach, you know, coming into this game...
Double pivot.
Not the double pivot this time. Coming into this game, obviously, you know, you come in with the rotations, you come in, you know, with these guys. You know, what is kind of your message to this team before the game, or do you feel like they just came with what you've been talking about here?
Well, we talked again about belief, a belief in themselves. You know, the collective is there. They're a good bunch of guys. It's a great locker room, but belief in themselves. We challenged Mark and Charlie and Gallatin and Edson and Ryan, you know, because he wants to stick with the round, and Seba to back up what he did the other night. They got to believe in themselves. And so that was kind of the theme. I mean, we were trying to help them as best we could. A lot of the education was film, and we had a match day -1 training where we did some walkthroughs and got them organized. But they needed to believe in themselves and believe that as a collective, if they helped each other, we'd have a chance to win. So, again, you know, you look at Chivas, they've had guys that were playing in the World Cup 3 weeks ago. And we've got Edson, who looked pretty good, inverted winger. Had Charlie right back, you know. Mark playing in the middle of the park, connecting a few passes, winning some duels. And then we haven't talked about the subs yet, but then I put Peter Kingston on and, Kim Ki-hee and some of those guys. Those guys all want to play for this club. They wear the shirt with pride. Kim's a great pro. Peter Kingston wants to play. You saw Paul Rothrock again busting his ass because he could have gone somewhere else in the offseason, but he elected to stay with us because he wants to play for this club. So, a lot of positives.
Coach, how do you plan to take this momentum back into the league? Are we going to be seeing some more of these players that we've gotten to see on these short-term signings?
Unfortunately, they got 4 call-ups. But we're gonna make sure that we take whatever momentum we have, or you think we have, and we're gonna try and get the team prepared for Vancouver. And then after that game, we're gonna go Austin. And then we're gonna go on the road, and we're not afraid of going on the road to Cincinnati. And that's a tough 3-game week. But what I do know, what I can tell you, what I can guarantee you, is that every single player in that locker room is going to come out and fight for the jersey because of the example that was set tonight.
Buenas.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. El alinear al equipo B significó que ya daba por eliminado o dio por eliminado ya el equipo del torneo.
Brian, good evening. Did lining up with that specific, more B team style lineup signify that you'd come to terms with the difficulties left to qualify out of this stage of the group?
Of course. We have 3 games in 7 days next week. That was part of my decision. What I wanted to do was start with a group of young, hungry players and then make subs in the second half to try and win the game. And I think that's what we did. We actually had a chance. We had multiple chances to make it 2-2. He's got to translate that.
Vamos a continuar en inglés y traducción después. ¿Está bien?
Yeah.
Coach, you mentioned making
Zoom translation.
Coach, you mentioned making plenty of subs to try to win the game. I was wondering what your thought process was on bringing Alex Roldan, given his known health limitations right now and the packed schedule.
He's fine. We needed a guy in a double pivot, and he was the last guy on the bench that could do it. And Alex is a tough kid, and he's perfectly fine to play 12 minutes.
Coach, I wanted if you could comment a little bit on the tactical awareness of the team, because you changed formation. You put some players in midfield that normally don't play there. And also specifically to the goalkeeper, I know it's a specific position, but did that put a doubt in your mind about who is going to be the starter going forward?
Nope. It's a competition. I'll make those decisions as I see fit as far as a goalkeeping decision is concerned. I said from the outset that I have 2 starting goalkeepers on this club. And I will make a decision if I need to. But Andrew has seen, again, what the other players have seen, position specific, that Steph is, proud to be a Seattle Sounder, and he works hard every day in training, and he's playing at a high level. And that's good for Andrew. Not just for the near term, but also for Andrew to look to the future. Because if Andrew can have a career like Steph Fry, then he will have had a successful career. And as far as the other tactics, new positions, all that, the attacking shape didn't change. I'm sure all these guys have seen the differences. We just defended a little differently in 5-4-1.
Brian, you talked about this game. I'm wondering if overall, the 3-game, if you give us your early thoughts on the whole tournament as a whole.
Going down to Toluca was never going to be easy. 2-0. Statistically, we got beat up. That last goal made it 3. Maybe that was more indicative, based on the stats. Querétaro made a bunch of changes. We made them pay for it. And in this game, you have the effort that was required, maybe just not the, quality. But again, we had some chances to make it 2-2. They obviously had chances to put their score line higher. But, at the end of the day, if Osaze gets one of those 2 chances, maybe it's 2-2.
I know you're a proud Seattle guy. What did seeing all that red in the stadium feel like today?
It was fine. I loved it. Credit to the Chivas fans. I mean, they support their team. Our fans support our team. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Chivas is a big club, and there are a lot of people that support their club. Same like us. We have away support. I love waving to all the away people at different games, different stadiums. I mean, when fans travel to see their team play, I love it.